Welcome back to our September webinar. I'm your host, Sean Connors, co-founder and CEO with eTeam Sponsor. Today, we're diving into how our event-driven campaign and fundraiser platform can significantly boost fundraising for your institutions. By the end of this webinar, you'll know the exact steps to unlock $1 million or more in a single day of giving. You're about to hear the best knowledge on why running an EDC campaign on your campus is critical, when to execute it, and how easy it is to set up a fully customizable campaign that aligns with your institution's goals. We'll dive into best practices that successful institutions are using across the country and show you how to integrate these strategies with our eSuite tools to take your fundraising from transactional to transformational. Your first question might be, why an event-driven campaign? And why are they so powerful? Well, with the current fundraising landscape, especially for small colleges and private high schools, securing donations has never been more important. That's why our platform comes in. We'll help you maximize impact in the least amount of time with the least friction for your donors. At eTeam Sponsor, our mission is simple. We want to help you raise the most money in the least amount of time. And our Fundraiser Giving Day functionality is that game changer, providing your donors with a streamlined and engaged experience, as well as putting you and your institution well ahead of your annual fundraising goals, helping you reach donors at the perfect moment when they're ready to engage. Giving days are an essential part of modern fundraising. They create urgency, excitement, and rally your entire community around a single day of impact. According to our leading fundraising research, time-boxed campaigns like this can significantly increase donor engagement and help secure larger gifts. The combination of social sharing, real-time updates, and peer-to-peer fundraising allows you to engage supporters on a much deeper level. So today we're going to get into when to fundraise, when to do a day of giving, how these best practices for a successful day of giving are set up, and you're going to hear from some of the best that do it. Today, our panel, we're very excited to have Garrett Brown, Director of Annual Giving, Athletics, and Digital Fundraising at Ottawa University in Kansas, as well as having Amelia Bowman in from Double the Donation, which ties into our donor match eSuite tool, and we're excited to share with you how that works. We'll tee that up for Kayla Johnson, webinar woman here at eTeam Sponsor, as she'll take you through a live demo and show you exactly how you can use the tools in our Fundraiser platform to raise $1 million in a single day of giving. Next, logically, you're asking, well, when do we run a day of giving? Well, timing is key. Based on our experience with successful campaigns, we recommend running your day of giving in the fall or around Giving Tuesday, which is the first Tuesday after Thanksgiving. Why? In the fall is when excitement for the school year is still fresh and alumni and supporters are highly engaged. We're going to share some of those stories with our panel and also hear from some of the best that do it here at eTeam Sponsor. The setup process for this is pretty simple. It's seamless, fully customizable to your institution's specific needs, whether you're targeting alumni, parents, corporate partners. Our platform lets you craft a message that's going to resonate deeply within your community. You can customize everything from donation tiers, branded campaign messaging, making it uniquely yours as you set up challenges, matches, and all of the core components that lead to a successful giving day. So, best practices that we recommend for a successful day of giving. Number one, start early and plan big. The most successful campaigns start their planning months in advance. We recommend setting your fundraising goals and starting outreach at least 6 months before your giving day. Now, you can start without 6 months leeway time, but we highly recommend no shorter than 90 days. Consider building a team of ambassadors or VIP supporters who can help amplify your campaign through their networks. And peer-to-peer fundraising. eTeam Sponsor has done this for the last 15 years. We know how impactful this can be, and it's one of the most powerful tools to maximize your reach and raise more money by activating the best fundraisers on your campus, your students. Our donor match feature helps double or triple donations by promoting donors to submit matching gift requests to their employers immediately after donating. More on that from Amelia in a moment. All right, pleasure to be joined now by Amelia Bauman. Amelia is with Double the Donation. We're really excited to have her with us here today. Amelia, go ahead and introduce yourself.
Hi, Sean. Really excited to be here today. So, like he said, I am with Double the Donation. I am a partnership success manager over there. So that just means I work with a lot of different donation form and CRMs just to make sure our integration is going well. To give some more context about who Double the Donation is, if you've never heard of us, if you don't know what a matching gift is, basically, we are the industry leading matching gift automation software. We integrate with a bunch of different donation form platforms and just enable fundraising organizations from schools to nonprofits and everywhere in between to be able to access more matching gift research, technology, and then finally drive a lot of match eligible donations to completion. So you're taking maybe an individual donation and you're being able to request a matching gift from that donor's employer and having that individual donation be doubled or even tripled in some cases for that fundraising organization. So really excited to be here, Sean, and excited to dig into some Giving Day best practices as well for matching gifts.
Doubling and tripling donations, you caught my attention. So let's jump right in there. Why are matching gifts important to consider during a giving day or during giving season?
So let's start with square one. If you've never heard of a matching gift, basically it is the most popular form of corporate philanthropy. Other forms are like volunteerism and sponsorships, but we really see matching gifts as the most popular form, and that's because around 65% of Fortune 500 companies have some sort of corporate matching gift
Wow.
program. And that really means some of the saddest statistics is that people just don't know about these programs. So we're seeing an estimated 2 to 3 billion with a B fall through the cracks with matching gifts because people aren't knowing how to submit a matching gift request. So all of that donation potential is falling through the cracks, and it's very sad, but that's why Double the Donation created 360 Match Pro, really to help people identify those matches, drive them to completion. And we really do see a lot of potential for higher ed institutions, K through 12, as well as nonprofits to be able to double or triple donations. So just to give you a more hands-on example of what that would look like, if I'm a donor and I am employed by the Home Depot, I know that the Home Depot's matching gift program will match my $50 donation, I think at a 1-to-1 ratio. So that's now a $100 donation. You apply that to your entire donor base, and it's a huge game changer. And not to mention, too, I think when we think about giving days and giving seasons, there already are corporations thinking about that as well. So there's different corporations that will actually up their ratios. So they might match at a 2-to-1 ratio during the month of December, which is huge to think about. And there's also a lot of different custom and one-off programs. So your donors' companies actually want to be able to match their donations, but the process of being able to identify match eligible donations is really tricky. So that's why we come in as a software to be able to provide donors with those companies' specific matching gift next steps. But yes, a lot of donation potential, especially at the end of the year.
Absolutely. And giving season's right around the corner, right? We've got Giving Tuesday coming up, the Tuesday after Thanksgiving, as well as schools who are e-team sponsors clients getting ready for their giving days, which may take place at the end of the year or getting ready for next spring. So let's talk about that. How can e-team sponsors clients, maybe even non-clients, people that are thinking about jumping on board, how can we best prepare them, our team, to reap the benefits of doubling or tripling donations?
Yeah, I think step one is having the right software in place and knowing where your donors work. So you find that data point, and then that's like a gold mine that opens up the door to so many opportunities, because as an organization or as a nonprofit, if I know X% of my donors work at Home Depot or they work at a local shop, I'm able to chase down those match eligible donations and say, hey, did you know your donation of $50, $500, whatever number you want to put in there is match eligible? And it's also important to make sure your staff is a little bit educated on what matching gift programs are. That way, it can come up really naturally in conversations. If you're chatting with an alumni, for instance, and you're like, I know you love our school and I know your support is just very palpable, and I can see that in your previous generosity. And I also know you mentioned you work at XYZ company. Are you aware they match donations? And so this isn't even a request of you asking the donor or the alumni in this instance to reach back into their wallet and double their donation on their own. That is something that their company does for them. And so it kind of makes the donor the hero of the story, is what I like to say, because they're doubling or tripling their impact without having to reach back into their wallet. So
Absolutely.
as long as your team kind of knows a little bit about matching gifts and is able to see where your donors work, it's a great opportunity to just go from there.
That's what's impacted, I think, our team the most, right? It's this knowledge transfer of, hey, this is how much it can impact the donor experience, because it's easy, as we say, ridiculously easy for them to go through that matching process immediately after donating. So thank you so much for making the 360 Match Pro process very easy for our donors and our clients' donors. What are some of the ways that we can introduce donor match through marketing appeals?
Providing a space for educational resources is usually the first place to begin. So we always suggest like our clients have a space on matching gifts on their website. So obviously a lot of people already have different ways to donate. So you can donate by donor advised funds, whatever other sort of ways that your donation base donates. You can also add a matching gift section there too. So that's already naturally providing an educational resource. You might also mention it in your campaigns and go ahead and just add it into the promotional aspect. I know a lot of organizations already have a cadence. If you add the matching gifts aspect and just say, hey, by the way, you can double or triple the impact, that's going to catch somebody's attention. So it doesn't need to be this whole huge lift of another promotional aspect. You can really easily and naturally weave it in. And then lastly, the follow-up. Our software does already enable automated email follow-ups, but if you wanted to look into your donor base and see who's donated and then create your own email campaign, that's always an option, just to have yet another nudge and say, hey, before end of year and before maybe your matching gift, you already forget about the fact that you donated, it's still a great time to go ahead and request that matching gift. And Sean, I don't even know if I mentioned this, but a lot of times matching gifts and year end already go hand in hand, because a lot of corporations only match gifts by the end of the year.
Yeah.
So the gift is only eligible to be matched ahead of December 31st. So just another reminder, that's another way to create urgency.
This is foundational to making sure that your giving day is as successful as it possibly can be. So donor match is a 100% no-brainer. Got to do it. Thank you so much, Amelia, for coming on today. We really appreciate you sharing as much as you had. The subject matter expertise, I think our clients and people who are maybe first time on one of our webinars or thinking about coming on board with eTeam Sponsor, I think they've gained a tremendous amount of insights, but also probably a lot of confidence in their ability to leverage donor matching with their next giving day or day of giving. So greatly appreciate you coming on, and we'll definitely love to have you come back on maybe down the road. We can look to get you back in here in the spring, and we can share a little bit more of the best practices around donor match.
Of course. Thank you so much for having me, Sean. I had a great time.
You're welcome. Thank you so much.
I'm Garrett Brown. I'm the Director of Annual Giving, Athletic, and Digital Fundraising for Ottawa University. We have several campuses throughout the United States. My position is U-wide, as is the entire advancement department. So I work with all locations, with all things kind of fundraising that falls underneath my umbrella of either the annual fund or athletic or digital fundraising.
We appreciate you being on, Garrett. This is awesome. Like I said earlier, before we started recording, You've become a regular with us, and we're bringing you back by popular demand. People love hearing from you. Today, we're talking about best practices when it comes to days of giving or giving days. But maybe the first question, we can kind of zoom out a little bit more and just talk about really annual fund strategy. And in your opinion, where does Day of Giving or these giving days really fit into a successful annual fund strategy?
Personally, I feel like days of giving are a really good tool to engage maybe a younger age demographic through marketing techniques and schemes that kind of speak to them, whether it's social media, email blasts. There could be a text message aspect, whatever, however you kind of want to work with it. I also think it's key to maybe get some live bunts and some side bunts. So people that maybe haven't given yet this, your fiscal year, but they gave the last fiscal year, but they haven't given in several fiscal years. So it's kind of a re-engagement tool as well. The other thing that is really kind of beneficial, I think, with Days of Giving too, is the information grab that we get from it. So, when you're doing a big push and you're contacting people, maybe 5, 6, 7 times throughout a day or whatever, depending on your marketing plan that you've kind of worked out, you'll get, some bounce backs on emails. Maybe you'll have people that will give, that haven't given in a while, and they'll have a new address, they'll have a new phone number. So like, it's really a good tool to use for a lot of ways and a lot of things. It's not just a giving tool. Obviously the donations and stuff are the main goal of it, but it's also for us, it's become kind of this information drive as well inside of the Day of Giving. And so that's really impactful for what we do on a daily basis. So
in terms of the Day of Giving or Giving Day built into your annual fund strategy, would you say that's a core component to the strategy?
Okay. Typically, we're looking at it kind of on like a 3-year cycle. But within that 3-year cycle, you have your individual plan for that fiscal year, right? So currently we're in fiscal year 25 because our fiscal year is July 1 to June 30th. And so when we're looking at this, we try to do 4 main campaigns inside the annual fund per year. And most of them have a snail mail component to them. And so Giving Day is another way to do that. And it's also cost effective because we'll do a save the date postcard, like we like to call it. But that only goes out to a select few people, usually some of our really good donors that like to support Giving Day. And then we'll start trying to hit a list of people that maybe haven't given yet that fiscal year, or some people we're trying to re-engage with specifically. So it's not like a big mass mailer like we typically do for our other ones. So yes, it's very much part of our annual fund structure. We work it in the spring because that works well for us because it's around our charter day. So it's a very specific day for Ottawa University. It's an OU day. We call it We Are Braves Day. And it really hones in on the spirit and the things that we care about on the campus in Ottawa, Kansas. And so that's kind of why it's become our big spring campaign on a lot of levels.
That's awesome. That's great. So one of the things that we've talked about in terms of successful Giving Days, what we've seen take place, it's number one, it's like start early and plan big.
Yeah.
Can you talk to us maybe about your plans? You talked about this being a core foundational piece to your annual fund strategy out of those 4 things that you're focused on. Can you talk about the importance maybe of starting early, planning big? What is kind of those powerful tools that you're building in?
Yeah, typically we start January 1 planning for Giving Day. We have started earlier. January 1 is usually a pretty good time. We're looking at calendar year and wrap up. We have a better understanding of kind of where we're at. That's the halfway point for the year for us for the fiscal year. So we kind of know what we need to be really shooting for Giving Day. It gives us time to build out a good theme for it. Obviously, our overall theme is, We Are Braves Day, but it kind of helps us hone in maybe on what we want to do for marketing material. I think that's been big for us. We didn't used to start that early, and it hurt us. The last couple of years, we definitely plateaued with Giving Day. And so this year was really a main focus. We're like, this is good. It's been good, but how do we make it better? And so we kind of went back to not necessarily the drawing board, but we wanted to kind of reevaluate it a little bit. I would say that your guys' software really helped with that. You've taken a big leap forward in your Giving Day platform. So David Lowe and I worked closely together on that side of things, and he really helped me tweak it and make it more specific to OU and what kind of my vision was for our Giving Day, which I appreciate. The customizable. aspect of it,
customizable.
whatever
There you
that
go.
word is.
Yeah, yeah.
Whatever that word is. Yeah.
Customized, that works. Yeah.
Yeah, that works. And so I think that's cool. And that really did help out a lot. And so our decade challenge really resonated with a lot of folks, and it was fun. So we had two different challenges going. We had a goal. So whoever decade raised the most money, they got a little something. And then whatever decade had the most participation, so the most people show up and give.
I love that. I love that. Well, good. Well, there's a couple things there. You talked about challenges and matches being a part of that strategy. What does goal setting look like? Is it donations? Is it monetary goals, non-monetary goals like donor acquisition, donor engagement? Talk us through how you go through that goal setting process.
Yeah, so typically we have, I would say, kind of three main goals within our giving day. Number one would be monetary. It didn't used to be. We used to just try to, like the very first year we did it, we didn't know what we were going to get. So we did a donor goal. I think that's a great way to start, honestly. That was cool. It kind of gave us an idea of the market. Like, okay, are people ready for this? Are they not ready for this? You know, did we maybe forget about this segment? Did we not do something well? You know, why wasn't, this group that I thought would be engaged, why weren't they engaged? Stuff like that. Kind of almost it is like a litmus test a little bit. So I think that was a good jumping off point for us for sure. So in our giving days, though, number one is our monetary goal typically. And then within that, we usually have a donor goal on some levels. We'll definitely continue to do some decade challenge stuff around the participation of different decades and things that seem to work really well for our alums. And I think that's just a fun way to do it because, you'll have maybe your 70 to 79, decade. They might be able to give a little bit more money than the recent grads that are going to be, 20 to 2025 grads might be able, but they might have, more people that are willing to get $5. And then the third thing that we usually try to focus in on is like, okay, our reach, let's also focus on, new donors. So personally, internally, we usually have a new donor goal as well. So, say you want to have 200 donors on your giving day, we'd like to see 10% of them be new donors. That would be awesome. Or, 20% be new donors. Usually we're shooting for 15 to 20% new donors on giving day. That's kind of, that's a good note for us to make. That's a good statistic for us to track.
Is there anything from a technology perspective that you'd say, hey, this is best, this is absolutely something you should do, whether it's leading up to the day of giving, the actual day of? Have you guys gone with hey, if we reach X in a goal, we've got a donor ready to match that dollar for dollar, 50%. Talk to us a little bit about because donor match, we see it a couple different ways, right? It shows up in a donor being able to have their employer match the donation, and then you've got this kind of larger planning big strategy of a donor match with, hey, we reach $50,000, we've got a donor ready to go and match that $50,000. Talk to us a little bit about your strategy regarding donor match.
At our staff meetings, I will start the conversation with our leadership gift officers and our director of major gifts, because it's kind of an all hands on deck situation, just like homecoming or any big event. And so, they help me out, and obviously we help each other out with other stuff too. And so Wendy and Derek have been really good at that. Nori Hale was really good at that before she retired. And so I'd be like, hey, this is my thoughts on giving day this year. Here's my kind of overall theme and scheme. This is what we're kind of trying to do. Anybody in your guys' portfolio that you think this would resonate with? Is there anybody out there that you think is primed and ready to do like a matching gift? Is there anybody out there that you think would like to do some kind of challenge? And so they kind of run with it in their worlds, and then they'll come back to me and we'll kind of discuss strategy and stuff. And that's really been productive. I think the employer match is a big thing. And a lot of companies, especially large companies, do an employer match on some level. And a lot of times employees don't even know that. And so I think that's cool to, like, we'll put that out in our stuff, just in our general appeals, our mass appeals. We'll throw stuff in there just like we would about planned giving. Like, it's kind of the same idea. It's like, hey, maybe talk to somebody, talk to your HR department, see if this is happening, see if this is a thing you can do. And that's been beneficial in general.
Well, Garrett, we really appreciate you coming on board, man, sharing as much as you did. This is great. We appreciate it. I'm sure this is going to be impactful and meaningful for everybody that's watching, whether they're current clients or they're thinking about jumping on board with the team sponsor. I think you've given them a lot of information that they'll be able to take away.
Yeah, absolutely. Happy to help, guys. Thanks for asking me. So,
You got it. You got it. That's Garrett Brown, Ottawa University. Now, let's talk about how our eSuite can take your giving day to the next level and turn small transactional donations into large transformational gifts. Number one, donor intelligence, powered by iWave and KindSay. This feature allows you to identify and rank donors with the highest potential to give. By screening wealth data and aggregating multiple data sets, you can unlock hidden gems in your donor base that have the capacity to make a major gift. Number two, Donor Lift. This tool is awesome. It empowers donors to cover transaction fees, ensuring that their full donation goes to your cause. It enhances donor satisfaction and increases the overall funds raised by offsetting processing costs. Number three, Donor Match. Donor Match, we are integrated with 360 Match Pro. Automatically identifies matching gift opportunities and prompts donors to submit matching requests right after their donation. This can lead to significant increases in total contributions. And last but not least, number four, Donor Sync. By connecting directly to your Razor's Edge or NXT, Donor Sync automates the import of donor data, making donor management and gift tracking seamless on a day where you'll be raising over $1 million or more.
Hi, everyone. My name is Kayla Johnson, and I am the Client Solutions Manager here at eTeam Sponsor. I'm so excited to hop into some more best practices regarding event-driven campaigns and give you guys a live demo about some of the features and tools we have to help you guys raise as much money as possible in the shortest amount of time. So I'm going to go ahead and share my screen. So this is the organization landing page, and there are several things here that you can edit. So the first best practice I'm going to talk about when it comes to event-driven campaigns is setting clear goals and impact statements. Clear messaging is key. As we say here at eTeam Sponsor, when you confuse, you lose, and we don't want you to lose any opportunity to engage a potential supporter and secure a large donation. Make sure your donors understand exactly how their donations will make an impact on your campus and for your students. This organization landing page is a great place to start, making sure your messaging is clear and aligned with your goals and impact. So if I jump into here and put this in edit mode, which this is where an user would be able to edit these things, we can go ahead and add a background. So this is great. For example, maybe you're raising money in your event-driven campaign to upgrade some facilities, or you just want to put a banner of your guys' campus in here. You can do that by just selecting upload, putting your image in here, and then by using edit background, you can also move and reposition this so that it looks how you guys want it to. And then once you click save, that image will be saved. This is new. You are also able now to upload a video. So again, it can be a video of you guys talking about why you're running an event-driven campaign, what your goals are, and the impact that it will have. So if I go ahead and just upload a video in here, and then you are also able to edit your logo, update anything here, as well as put in your mission statement and mantra. And we highly recommend using some sort of hashtag that you can carry across your event-driven campaign. So I'm going to plug a couple in here. And then once I save this, all of these things will update. And then now I'm on the public facing. So now you can see, potential supporters can watch video, look at your banner, and they know what your guys' hashtags are and messaging is aligned with your event-driven campaign. It's also a best practice to make sure you develop a plan that includes both monetary goals and non-monetary goals, like new donor acquisition or boosting donor engagement. The next best practice I'm going to cover is leveraging social media and ambassadors. Peer-to-peer fundraising, social media sharing, and creating a campaign-specific hashtag, like we just talked about, can multiply your reach. Ensure your supporters have all the tools they need to share your message and make it easy for them to share and promote this event-driven campaign. On the day itself, use social media aggressively to build excitement, share progress updates, and encourage real-time donations. We talked about the way you can tie your hashtag here, as well as we do have a feature where you can generate an organization QR code. You can customize this. You could put a specific day of giving logo in here, and you are able to then download it and put it on flyers, signage, banners, social media. So this is another great tool we have for you all to promote your event-driven campaign. The last thing I'm going to hop into is using technology to drive engagement. Make giving as easy as possible for your potential supporters with a mobile-friendly donation platform. Offering live leaderboards and gamified elements like donation badges can increase engagement. Our donor match feature helps double or triple donations by prompting donors to submit matching gift requests to their employers immediately after donating, as you heard Amelia speak about earlier in this webinar, as well as Donor Lift. This is a tool that we have here at eTeam Sponsor. It empowers donors to cover transaction fees, ensuring that their full donation goes to your cause. It enhances donor satisfaction and increases the overall funds raised by offsetting processing costs, as well as we have a whole e-suite of tools that you are able to integrate with to help your institution raise the most amount of money possible in the shortest amount of time, which is always our goal, and have your event-driven campaign be a huge success. I'm going to hop into some new features and functions we have on the horizon tied to event-driven campaigns. So I'm going to go ahead and share my screen, and I'm going to hop into a feature we're really excited about that is to come. And that is the ability to have challenges tied to your event-driven campaign. So as you can see here, there are several challenges under the umbrella of this event-driven campaign. And there are many ways to utilize this. The goal of this is to gamify this, get your donors excited to participate in a creative way. And I'm going to go over a couple examples of how you can best utilize this tool. So the first thing you can do is tie it to donor matching. So maybe, for example, you have a donor that has said, I would like to donate $50,000 if they reach their goal of their challenge. And this donor wants to make that donation, but they also want to incentivize and unlock opportunity for other donors to come forward and donate as well. So if that challenge, hits $50,000, a donor will match that, or, whatever amount they raise, a donor will match that. And that's a great way to tie these challenges to that. Another thing that you guys could do is something like a power hour. So for example, there is like a 7 a.m. donor challenge right here. And there's a $500 prize. So for example, the scenario would be that programs on campus are fundraising for this challenge. And if they either raise the most amount of money, dollar amount, or have the most amount of donations from 7 to 8 a.m., then that program wins $500. So again, great way to drive engagement, raise more money in less time. And we're really excited to have this feature implemented shortly.
Thank you to Amelia and Garrett for joining us today. They were a great set of panelists, providing us with best practices to run the most successful giving day possible. And a successful day of giving requires the right strategy, tools, and planning. By combining the best practices we've covered here today with our e-suite, you can drive transformational results for your institution. So whether you're a current client or considering joining eTeam Sponsor, now is the time to plan your day of giving. Our team is ready to support you every step of the way. So for our panelists, for Kayla Johnson, our webinar woman, I'm Sean Connors signing off, saying thank you for joining our Day of Giving webinar here in the month of September. Until next time, be elite, fundraise more.